This thing has a theme song. Oh, of course I know that, or at least I should have known that. Hello, Queen Vampress. Thank you very much for tuning in. I said that almost immediately the time that I hit the commercial button, so sorry about that. Uh, so, uh, you know, slightly before I got on, I was just taking a very nice nap, so I did know that I had to wake up long enough in order to provide something for stream tonight. Is that knowing that I had dozed off pretty significantly the night before, and that's kind of what made me miss out on Saturday evening cartoons this week. My bad. I don't know what the difference is. I mean, really, all the only thing I can blame at this point is age. But um, this, that, and the other. Don't worry about it, folks. Yeah, your old buddy Brady is a little bit sleepy, but has made the salient decision that the show must go on. So I'm here with Sonic Sundays, and yeah, we're going to be playing Sonic Colors. And I do have to just kind of admit at this point, one of the reasons that I didn't want to play Sonic games every Sunday is because there's more than a handful of them on my Steam list that I haven't completed yet, and this happens to be one of them. So, you know, we're definitely going to crack into this with a certain amount of purpose, a certain amount of intent, and I can personally hardly wait because I was enjoying this for the time that I was playing. I just don't know when I actually stopped. Kind of a funny thing to say, whether or not I stopped enjoying it, or uh, whether or not that was a contribution to when I stopped doing it. But well, I'll water under the bridge because I've made the dedication to play it. Let's go ahead and let's play the intro, and let's go ahead and let's get started. Hello, cats and kittens, felines and felidae, humans and variant humans, every race, class, and subclass. All right. We got really close to just playing the introduction a second time. So yeah, this is Sonic Colors Ultimate. This is a game I've been meaning to play because I've had it on my Steam list since the beginning of December, and I just really haven't had an opportunity in order to dedicate enough time in order to play it. So, Sonic Sundays is here in order to rectify some of these issues, these little circumstances that I have created for myself. Also, be great if we were playing some music right now. All right. Um, yeah, we want to start a new game.
Hello, Sonic. Do you read me?
We don't need Tails to give us tutorial. Everybody has got the Sonic Boost method down at this point. Always tell myself I'm not gonna hum, but there it is. We're gonna hum because the music's that good. Eggman is saying something in the background. It's supposed to be too quiet to hear. Because we're not giving away the plot that soon. Alright. Congratulations on watching for 15 streams, Queen Vampiress. Boosting basically goes something like that. This already feels like second nature after having completed Sonic Forces. I just have to keep it in my head that I'm no longer playing Sonic Forces. I simply have to make sure that I'm only playing the Sonic sections of Sonic Forces in order to get a basic idea of how that's supposed to go. Alright. We definitely be grinding on some rails. Got to motivate in a forward fashion so as to move rapidly. Those stun sections aren't automatic either. Otherwise, I really would have done it somewhere in the vicinity of the ending there. Don't be expecting an S rank, just in exactly the same way that you might have when I was playing Sonic Forces 2. Because I actually do think that's something I'm going to need to earn. As opposed to in that other game. That was interesting. That was kind of like a horizontal loop-de-loop going on right there. Somebody has broken into Dr. Eggman's car, and clearly it is me. I more than likely achieved that. Hello, Reaper is here. Thank you very much for tuning into the stream. How are you doing tonight? See, there it is again. It's like some kind of, loop-de-loops are now horizontal. The world has gone topsy-turvy. Oh, hello, Mr. Not-So-Anything. This is a red letter day. This is a day in which I was visited by 3 of my most regular viewers. How you doing tonight? Sonic Sundays. This just goes to prove that Sonic Sundays is probably one of the best ideas that I've ever had. It definitely brings absolutely everyone around out of curiosity. Okay, something in here. Meow. 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 Sounds like I'm gargling on my spit. Little bit. Little bit. Bringing into this, those of you who scientifically know things about cats. The addition of a second form of vocal cord. So sorry to hear that you're not feeling well, Mr. Not So Anything.
He loves to hear his own lips flap, but
Right, here's the thing. You can roll your R's. I absolutely can roll my R's.
even one of their brother is gonna want to come here.
No doubt. But now I'm not sure why we're here. This place looks totally harmless.
Because Eggman plus secretly built amusement park equals evil plot for us to foil. Lucky for us, he's not very good at keeping things hidden.
True. It would be pretty hard to miss a giant floating space amusement
I mean,
park.
give the guy a chance in order to reform, guys. Come on.
I don't know.
You know, this definitely isn't going to end in an evil plan.
Plot or not.
And I totally didn't unleash a whole bunch of abducted aliens at the end of that last round.
Easy to sneak in here.
I wouldn't say it was that easy.
Hello, happy people. Buckle up as Eggman's ultra-accelerating space elevator whisks you to an interplanetary wonderland of fun.
I can't believe somebody was dumb enough to leave the keys in this thing. It's like Eggman's begging us to sneak in and trash the place.
Oh man, this thing's got.
I wouldn't mind having a floating amusement park above the earth. It would be amazing, especially if it was able to sustain life.
This amusement park has been constructed entirely out of a sense of remorse for my past transgressions, and is in no way associated with any sort of evil plot or premeditated misdeeds.
Well, you know, I remember like way back when, in the days of Sonic CD, when the plot was he had chained a tiny meteorite to the middle of Earth, and all Sonic had to do was run up it in order to get to where Eggman was exacting his evil plans. So he's basically just doing the exact same thing, but on a much grander scale at this point. As Eggman and his evil plots, they somehow always involve taking a different planet, connecting it to the Earth, and silently hoping that some fast-moving hedgehog isn't going to use the tractor beam that leads betwixt the twain of them in order for him to show up in the middle of outer space and thwart his plan. I'm not saying it's a formula, but it's kind of a formula. So at the end of that long cutscene, we finally get to Act 3 of Tropical Forest. Which is good, because, you know, I still really love the music in this stage. Okay, not where I was actually supposed to do that. Or do we want to go back and try that again? I don't think I can get back on the platform. Oh well. Next time. Oh, and this one has Cubot and Orbot. What was the first one that had Cubot and Orbot? I think this was the first one that had Cubot and Orbot. This is where I was actually supposed to duck and slide. It is a different button than it is in Sonic Forces. Every once in a while, there's just these little bits of rises on the ground that Sonic will trip over, and it'll change his animation, but it won't slow him down. Okay, that's how the laser's supposed to go. Okay, that pot is an illusion because I haven't figured out what Wisp is inside them yet. You also have to remember that this is the first time we've ever seen the Wisp, who have become something of a big deal when it comes to Sonic lore from this point forward. Wrong button. I'm hitting the boost button when I want to hit the double tap button, which is a mistake clearly. And this is actually supposed to be where I'm supposed to be able to do a stomp, and that's not the button for it. Okay. So, don't worry about me, just figuring out the basic controls here. Alright. Goes something like that. So, you know, anybody who actually saw when I was posting on Blue Sky probably thought I was going to be playing some Sonic Racing Crossworlds. And I was definitely going to play that, at least, you know, to catch the tail end of the Tangle and Whisper festival that they were doing. But then I came to the realization that that was going to come to an end before I was even going to do my typical start time.
Don't fall. There's nothing to land on down there.
Oh, yeah, good advice, Tails.
Almost made it.
Alright. Still not the right button. Alright. Okay, that's how it was supposed to go after 2 takes. I have to learn how to actually aim this thing. You had 3 energy drinks. I'm just sitting in my chair trying to figure out what to do right now, and I've got 5 popsicles. Well, you have made something in the form of a decision in that case. Come on, Brady, aim. I was doing this after I had just woken up from a nap. Perhaps I need an energy drink and 5 popsicles in order to keep going. So look at that lovely map screen. It looks as though that it's incredibly straightforward, but it actually is not. We're actually going to be bouncing back and forth between multiple stage themes. Well, you can come to my place. I'm always carrying around drinks and food. Whoops. I don't know how this badnik following me is supposed to work, but I think he's supposed to be a cannon that's supposed to propel me upstairs. Well, either that or, you know, he's actually trying to crush me, and I've been avoiding it so far. Thank goodness we have returned to the use of the triple of the traditional loop-de-loop. It's not intentionally throwing me for a loop-de-loop. As a short level, it was a challenge stage. I was supposed to do it in a completely different way.
Now let me see. Gotta connect the framostatic capacitor to the maximizing modulationizer. I wish I knew what you were saying, little guy. Or gal. Or whatever you are.
I think this was the first time Tails had his trademark tablet with him.
Oh man, that was crazy!
Oh, I was reconfiguring my handheld into a translator so I can understand this guy. Did you go somewhere?
Didn't you see? I absorbed those aliens and got powered up with, like, some kind of wild energy. And after a few seconds, they'd pop out of me.
I find that hard to believe.
I had aliens inside me, Tails. What's not to believe?
Okay, seriously? We need to find Eggman and figure out how catching these aliens fits into whatever heinous plan he's hatching.
And wreck that plan, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much how we spend our time.
Sonic is so sure of himself in this one. Usually Eggman shows up and then he treats it like it's an ordinary crisis, but you know, it's probably the environment. He's just having too much fun around here. I'm welcome to come to your place anytime. I'm gonna hold you to that. As soon as I figure out where that guy lives. So quite honestly, the first time I ever heard this song was in my good buddy Polly B's remix of it. So there's a part of me that just kind of expects to hear Polly B's voice chime in as part of the soundtrack. But I know that's not something that can actually happen. I meant to do that. Alright. So what are we doing here, basically? Well, something like this, but not as bad as I just did it. I like Paula Shore squeezing the juice, buddy. Okay, let me tell you a little something about Pauly Shore. Is that I went to a local convention around here in Fort Collins, Colorado, and they have a restaurant called Totally 80s Pizza. They went to a Pauly Shore stand-up comedy special with the intent, in order to, of course, ask them if they would sign a nice picture and donate it to the pizza place. How do I get out of this? I did something goofy and now I can't get out of here. So anyways, is basically what Pauly Shore did was he totally ripped the idea of them having an 80s memorabilia pizza place. He says, "That's the dumbest idea I ever heard. I can't believe that anybody would do something so stupid." So the pizza place took that photo and put it in the men's room with a Twitter hashtag called Wheezin' in the Juice Buddy. Hashtag Wheezin' in the Juice Buddy. And now from that point forward, anybody who ever saw it was encouraged, in order to put the hashtag on Twitter and say that they saw where they had put the portrait. It was kind of a big deal, I guess, at a time when Twitter was also kind of a big deal. Not the best way in order to grab a red ring, but... Well, I mean, that's precisely it. It's abysmal. It did not work at all. Okay, there's something there. I'm supposed to stand on a button and shift the platforms in order to get to that. Couple of things that I noticed right off of the bat with this game is one is that Sonic is a little bit floaty. The other one is that it's really hard to pinpoint when he can hop on and off of a platform. You know, this was a game that I believe originally came out for the Nintendo Wii, and so I placed the entirety of the blame on the hardware and infrastructure provided to them by the Nintendo Corporation. Okay, I'm still holding onto buttons. And in a normal Sonic level, this would be a stage where you didn't have to hold down a button in order to make platforms to move. They would move, and then you would hop across them. This is one of those shorter challenge stages, too, so I have not to do except make a grab for this last red ring. I should actually try jumping for it as well. This is the very first Boost Sonic game. They are trying to teach us these mechanics, basically. Yeah, the motion control game era. I actually played through Sonic and the Secret Rings. And believe me, is that I am of the impression that this entire sequence could go a lot worse than it has been.
23, 24, 25. Ah, not nearly enough aliens. Want us to get more? No, I want you to get me a cheeseburger and a shake. That'll be easier. Cheeseburgers don't run as fast as them little alien varmints. Idiot.
Scratch, Grounder, I mean Deacon and Bookum, I mean Snively, I mean Orbot and Cubot.
Y'all want fries with that? No! I reckon that hurt a bit. Wait a minute, I need to go over yonder. Sorry. Precious little aliens.
Not only is this the first time we did get Orbot and Cubot, but Cubot is doing this weird Western accent thing that we don't know is out of character for him, because this is his first time appearing.
Sonic! Who you calling nothing?
Huh? He means since the boss said nothing will stop me, and Sonic here is going to stop him, it's like the boss was calling Sonic nothing.
Great! I thought nobody would get that.
Fine. You're so smart, robot. You take care of this mess. Release the big boy. At least I know he won't screw it up. Hasta la bye-bye, suckers!
Wait for me.
Guess it's time for me to start stopping.
I get it.
Well, where's my burger and shake? No, seriously, Orbot, I'm seriously having a sugar crash right here. Somebody get me my lunch. Okay, that did count as a hit. Okay, can't stay on the platforms between hits. This robot boss is kind of all over the place. All right. Wow, I suspect I hit him extremely hard the very first time. So this went a lot quicker than it was supposed to.
Just tighten this last bolt. Oh, there you are. Where'd you run off to?
I did a little shopping, grabbed a bite to eat, and trashed a giant killer robot.
Oh, really? They've got shopping here too?
This place has everything. Hey, so how's your translator thingy coming along?
I think it's done. It's in binary code, so only I can read it. Okay, ask away.
Who are you, and what is happening to your people?
Okay, he says his name is Talks-a-Lot, and he's from a faraway soda, and where flowers water
So Tails the genius translating alien language into binary.
Yeah, I think I can figure this out, though. Okay, he said his name is Yacker. He's from a race of beings called Wisps.
Lisps?
No, Wisps, with a W.
Yeah, I'll just stick with aliens if that's okay with everybody.
Oh, sure. So anyway, they're either being used for their magical powers by an evil man, or to make underwear to be worn by Salad. I just hear save them over and over.
When I was
I hope
running
you
around
don't think I was going to be capable of reading that,
places,
because
so go check 'em
I may
out.
be smart, but I'm not a machine genius like Tails. What is that? It's just gibberish. Oh no, wait, I just saw it in the mirror. I thought the aliens were non-binary. I mean, the best way to look at binary is that it is a form of language with extra steps. Is that you use multiple ones and zeros in place of a single letter. So technically, learning a language should be something that is a little bit easier to learn than binary. Just saying.
Next stop, the tropical resort.
You ever see that episode of Futurama? Yep.
Next stop.
I was trying to make that exact same joke, but it clearly didn't land.
Next stop.
Okay. Okay, where to next, folks? Sweet Mountain or Starlight Carnival? How in order do I actually want to play this?
Next stop, the Sweet Mountain.
Yeah, we'll go to Starlight Carnival. Alright. I already got a little bit of that David Bowie quality in the soundtrack. Because why not? This is definitely the Starman traveling going on right here. I always told you I used to love all of those little teleporters in the egg zone, and this is basically just that again. They want me to stand in the way of the lasers for a short amount of time so I can grab some rings. Whoops. Rainbow Road. Or something like it. Something similar enough to it so that it can appear in the Sonic game. Having spent all of this time, all my most recent time, playing games like Cross Worlds and spin-offs like Sonic Rumble, I'm familiar with these stages, but only in the spin-off way. I've heard remixes of these songs before. Still the wrong button. There's a star man waiting in the sky. He'd like to come and meet us in the sky. These are brilliant lyrics. I remember that music note quite vividly. It comes back from the day when Dynamics used to uh, preside over us with an excellent little game that is known as Twitch Sings, which sadly had to go the way of the dodo as a result of the music industry openly scanning Twitch for copyrighted music. If you ever did a karaoke, I will join you in Discord and I will sing with you. That's not a bad idea. I would like to do some things that would be exclusive to the interior of my Discord page. Something I started doing, but then I stopped because I just basically ran out of ideas. Karaoke would be a really good idea for that, though. That feels a little funny because in addition to hitting the tag button, I also have to kind of push it in a specific direction. How does this one work? Yeah, I'm supposed to hit it as an X. I suppose it just makes all these blue shield things disappear. Okay, first you have to hit the activate button. It turns Sonic into a big cube, which then I suppose you use in order to slam into these things. Wisps have been a cool way in order to give Sonic power-ups and superpowers, but not all of them have been foolproof. I actually do a lot of karaoke. I'm not to toot my own horn, but I'm actually pretty damn good at singing. I sing every single day, including when I'm at work. My voice is kind of rough when I get home, and I always have hot tea. Yep. That's really great. I enjoy singing too, is that I feel like personally I was better when I was younger, and I have fallen off on it a little bit. But you know, it's still good to get some good old karaoke going every now and then. I feel like there's a lot of great Eggman comedy in this, and I'm sadly missing out on it because it's supposed to be very quiet and in the background. Ah, sudden motorbugs tried to attack me from behind. I'm supposed to tilt them by doing the sidestep. Interesting mechanic there. You know, they're teaching us how to control this, and so they had to have like enemies that can get in the way so that you can practice the mechanic, and so on and so forth. That's what they did with the Eggman comedy. They put it in the background so as not to distract anybody. But I want to be distracted by it because it's Eggman comedy and it's hilarious. Alright. I'm gonna pretend that made sense. Okay, this time, right bumper, turn into the cube, slam the ground, turn. So these, I guess these things are energizers. You're capable of using them in order to turn them into these sections, but you don't want to do it in that section because you'll fall through. Well, why have them there? Do I have any opportunity in order to collect those things? No, I guess not. I guess I just have to use these as plain old boring platforms. Uh-oh. That was for a secret, by the way, the trampoline. Where did the trampoline go? Okay, this turns things one way, and I have to keep the clock going. Because as soon as it runs out, then everything's going to return to normal, and I don't have platforms here anymore. If I kept heading left and then dropping down, I could get Sonic an extra life. I have lives. I think I've been playing too recklessly up until this point. I didn't realize I had lives. Okay, so down here. Ooh, I just got a time up warning. Why else would you go left on for the trampoline? Because it was part of the mechanic that I used on the way over here. Maybe you're thinking of a different trampoline. One that's in a later stage. It's a little bit annoying that, you know, Sonic does this wall kick every now and then. And when he does, it basically means that I'm not following the path of the platforms and I'm dying immediately afterwards. Sequence correctly. Something right. Eureka. Uh-oh. Right here. Okay. I think I'm afraid that Uwu and we are not compatible with each other. Yeah, it's okay. You could you kind of went out on that one, and I only have to speak this one. Maybe about another 30 seconds or so. I like to think I'm pretty good at voice acting, but sometimes the gimmicks tend to run together a little bit. It was definitely something that was worth a try because maybe it would have led to another kind of voice or something like that. I think it's just going to lead to me uh, soothing my throat with hot tea and 5 or 6 popsicles like my chat does. Love you too, Blaney. Yes, love all around. Eventually, I'm just going to do so many voice gimmicks that it's all just going to fade into one great big cacophony of sound, like kind of like white noise in analog audio, something like that. They're just going to hear me going. Just glad to know that all of you are enjoying the show. Okay, it's starting to get a little fun to sideswipe the motobugs. Okay, in the midst of the cutscene transition, it kind of felt a little bit like I had fallen off the entire stage. There's no proof to show that I haven't. Oh, hang on a second. Did I restart the level? It certainly feels like I restarted the level. No? I don't think I properly finished the level. Maybe I backed out of the level before I did finish it. Okay, we're still doing this. We don't feel bad about still doing this because at least it's been amusing. Or perhaps I ran out of lives like Reaper had suggested a little bit earlier. Eggman is not properly honoring my e-ticket here. Oh, come on. I cracked open the red ring. Don't I deserve to collect it now? You have assholes stomping around upstairs. Which is amazing to me because usually assholes don't have feet. Neighbor problems. Alright. I'm going to have to go on YouTube and listen to isolated tracks of all the Eggman jokes in this game. I mean, you can really just swipe back and forth rapidly, and that's enough in order to take out all the Motobugs. But you'll miss out on things like the red ring I just passed up. Score 100 points in one run using Quick Step. That's the achievement I just got. Still don't know what's supposed to be back there. Okay, I was pretty severely throttled by the way that this was supposed to work last time. Try not to allow me to continue that trend. Okay, so I'm supposed to reverse at this point. Nope. That was painful and dumb. That was clearly a mistake. And I'm trying to mess with dimensions of time and space over here. You think you would make it a little bit clearer. Oh. Okay, they made it impossible for you to get through that whole thing just by boosting. Okay, then I'm supposed to wall jump up there. Come up here. Fall down here. Activate it again. Hit the Beyonce again. Bunch of rings up there and a red ring. Okay, so this was a half of the level I didn't find before. Okay, we're actually back, as I didn't realize that we had gone to commercial because that last bit of the sequence was just so confusing that it had me locked into it. Hang on. Did I re-enter the level this time? It's a bit easy to do that sometimes. Okay, I know that I beat the level this time, but it didn't lead to a path. Oh, maybe there's two parts of the level and I keep exiting out of it and going back to the map. Maybe that's a mistake that I'm making. This has been a terrific playthrough so far. Brainy plays games while barely cognizant. People wonder why I can't sleep. Well, there is a lot of reasons why you can't sleep. I had some noisy neighbors at some point. I just basically fixed it by buying some earplugs from the pharmacy. Earplugs don't work for you. Okay. Try to take a slightly different path here. If the game will let me. And look at Sonic all running and junk. He's good at that. All right. Maybe they just do that to show you that's how the trampolines work. Eggman and his amazing ride tried to get underneath the great big ceiling that lowers down on you before you get crushed. I think they had one of those on in Six Flags over Houston.
Pressure on level 17. Please hold your breath against the harsh vacuum of space until you pass out from oxygen starvation. After that, you won't care. Enjoy the ride.
They really have one like that? No. That would be socially irresponsible. Okay, now let's try to see if we can figure out how I'm actually fudging the order here. The cube wisps are giving the level a just great big hug right there. And now I am allowed to progress to the next stage. So something they do in this game that I wish they would do in more Sonic games is that every additional stage is a slight remix of the previous one. As obviously that is something that they had gotten from Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but something that they just don't practice across all games, on all games across the board. That's the way to put it. No, that didn't do it. If, in case you can't tell, I'm after that weird Tails 1-up thing over there. This is like Mario Galaxy where you have to travel to different worlds and play their level. Which I remember 10 levels per world or more. But you know, the Sonic game that is really like Mario Galaxy is Sonic Lost World. Maybe that's one we're going to be playing sometime in the future. Uh-oh. Interesting. I don't think I can progress here. I think I have to fall. Okay, yeah, that's what they wanted me to do. Give me a little bit of room for me to hit the bad next, why don't you? X, why hit X? Because I can stomp on the trampoline, and then I can make it go up higher. Alright. I'd probably be grabbing so many more of these things, but I'm a little afraid of the trampoline wandering off and leaving me. Like so. See, they're trying to teach me how to reach the higher platforms in an earlier section, but then I totally, completely and totally forgot about it. Hey, stop sparking. No, don't want to stop sparking. That's a shame. Okay, what else? I think we're mostly done with Starlight Carnival at this point. Mm. All right. Okay, I didn't think there was actually something I could use to attack those orbs there. Oops. Go across that way. Cool emote. Yes, Reaper has all the cool emotes. I spend enough time on Twitch, I probably have a bunch of cool emotes too, but I just rarely use them. I just mostly use my own. Or I mostly use the default ones. Because I'm so used to talking in emoji and other platforms. Here we are again. I remember doing this sequence a lot in Sonic Forces when I was on the space station. Da-do, da-do.
Attention, ladies and gentlemen. Please make
Okay, I'm kind of a blimp in this form. It's the hover wisp. That's why it is named that. Because it allows me to hover. Alright. So, new achievement. Destroy 100 enemies using the homing attack. We all live in a Sonic head balloon. A Sonic head balloon. I was really hoping the platform would have been under me by the time I finished with that. Little funny doing this in 3D. Okay. Where do I go from here? Oh. See, I know one of these things had to be in the mix somewhere. Suddenly, the blade enemies are a real obstacle. So you should probably stay here for now. We need to get Queen Vampiress some emotes. Last stage. Wonder if there's a boss for this. Okay, I'm supposed to double jump to get on the platform. I have to do it in a way where I'm not activating my homing attack on either side. Okay, well then I would just single the single jump for that. Alright. Make sure that the road rises up to meet me every single time I use this power-up. A drat. Well, that almost went off without a hitch. Hey, what do I suppose I'm gonna have to do here? Wow, I fell far. Just build the entire level around one mechanic, because that's not annoying at all. Yeah, it's taking that wrong left turn. It keeps throwing me off. Oh, jeez, it happened again. Okay, well, this time I'm not going to fall eternally to my death. To infinity and beyond. I didn't have any rings, but I did have invincibility frames. I just picked the wrong end to fall completely down from. That's the mistake that I make. Okay, well, restarting this stage. Who needs a boss when the puzzle platforming is this difficult? Okay, that was supposed to have gone well. This hovering's for slow-mos. I gotta go fast. Okay, that's how I made that appear before. Sure. Okay, the sequence didn't fail me this time. Okay, so now a boss stage is going to appear. I'm assuming a boss stage is going to appear. Okay, I assumed wrong. Oh no, actually it's over on this side.
If I was an alien in need of saving, where would I be?
Literally everywhere, Sonic.
Has taught me
That's how it's worked so far.
thing that glows. Experience has also taught me that the best way to solve problems is to kick robot butt.
Visitors are cautioned to avoid feeding, petting, or saving any aliens.
Excuse me, giant killer robot? You want to do this the hard way or the easy way? Somehow I knew you'd say that. Let's dance.
Alright. Okay, we're shifting perspective. Gonna need some rings. Okay, this thing is really tilting. It actually matters what order I bash the robot to pieces in.
Sorry, I got bored and broke your robot.
Done and done. I actually thought I screwed up that last part of the sequence. But I actually was just to use the laser to shoot myself into dead space. So I could split the thing in half. That was what was supposed to have happened.
Hey, Tails, you missed the BBBE.
Huh?
Best boss beating ever.
I
Just
wouldn't call it
Sonic
that, but
Adventure.
you do you,
Or
Sonic.
limericks or whatever it is he's spouting.
Well, first, remember this translation stuff isn't 100%.
Trust me, I remember.
So anyway, these aliens are made up of a really powerful energy source called hyper-go-ons. It's inside of them.
Like a battery?
No. Well, sort of. It's their life source. You only got a taste of it. Look at what happened. Battery is sort of an understatement. Funny thing, it was first translating as horrible body odor. Anyway, it seems an evil man, and you might know him, who they call Baldy Nosehair.
Baldy nose hair! That's the best thing I've heard all day. I gotta remember that one.
I know, I've already written it down. Anyway, he's draining them of their power, all their power, and using it for an evil aquatic mammal? An evil dolphin? No, a porpoise. Oh, an evil purpose.
That's good.
Uh,
Working on
long way to go for a pun, Tails.
Hey, where are you going?
to find Baldy McNosehair, of course. I'm totally calling him McNosehair.
Next up, the Starlight Carnival. The sheer scale of our
Okay, okay. Yeah, well, having no other apparent choice, I'm going to go to Sweet Mountain next.
Sweet Mountain.
This place is great. All I need is a 100 million foot long napkin, and then I could really enjoy it here. Did all that just holding on to one ring. Of course, as long as I am striking the earth, I actually still just have to have my power up in that power up. I think we were talking about similarities to Mario Galaxy. Mario Galaxy also did have a drill power up in it. It's worth mentioning. Ow. You know, if you're gonna make a missile that big, Eggman, you're probably gonna want it to do more to me than make me lose all my rings. Also, I believe those missiles are filled with jelly beans. I have to wonder what the practical implications of that might be. Okay, I'm in trouble now. One thing I've noticed is that Sonic doesn't have the drag power that he has in Sonic Forces. That would have been useful in this section right about here. Oh. That's what I was supposed to do. It looks like it, but it's not. It's not the way what you're actually supposed to be doing. Probably didn't want to go too far in this direction, but did anyway.
Uh-oh, that switch just released some Eggman robots.
Pink Fairy Blossom, thank you very much for raiding. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you very much for coming over from Pink Fairy Blossom's stream.
You guys, you see it, right?
We did indeed see that clip. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Brady the RPG Cat. I'm a cat. I'm Brady, and I love RPGs. It's all in the name. Say, how are you doing tonight, Pink Fairy Blossom? It's very good to see you. Surprisingly, there have been a lot of very nice people coming to visit on this stream. Probably the most that I've seen in quite a while. So yeah, this is Sonic Sundays, is that every Sunday we do promise to play an official or unofficial Sonic the Hedgehog game. So part of 3 regular stream segments that we've been doing is that every Wednesday we do Roguelike Wednesday, and we play a roguelike game with some traditional game mechanics. And Saturdays, we've been playing Saturday evening cartoons, where we show some Saturday evening cartoons, some serials for Flash Gordon, and some issues of Sonic Legacy, the Sonic fan comic. So we've got all that going on around here. Thank you for everybody for staying tuned in. That sounds so fun. It absolutely is. We have our fun here, especially for people who like RPGs, tabletop games, and classic cartoons. All of those things. Alright. We be loving the RPGs, absolutely. I'm supposed to influence this rocket movement somehow. I definitely remember doing a lot of this in Sonic Generations. RPGs are life. Or something, or a incredible simulation of. Quite frequently better than that of real life. Okay, which way am I supposed to go now? Getting all 2.5D on this stage. See, it would be nice to be able to influence my curve across those sequences a little bit better. How can anybody look at one of those gigantic jelly bean missiles and think, oh, gee, Dr. Eggman is creating a delightful entertainment form of entertainment for us? This just in, a gigantic missile full of jelly beans has just decimated the country of Kuala Lumpur. Dr. Eggman is being held for questioning, because obviously nobody else would do something that strange. Okay, we're being imposed upon by an Eggman-shaped spaceship. I'm gonna go back see if I can figure out what that's about. No, I guess I actually can't. The music gets a little bit more intense every time you start a new stage. Did you like the Sonic movies? I don't know much about Sonic, but I like them. They're good movies. I mean, they are kind of abridged compared to the great big sprawling storyline that is Sonic the Hedgehog as a whole. But it's also that there's a lot of stuff that was in there that maybe really just didn't even need to be in the story. So it's fine. You know, it works. Probably the one thing that I really didn't like was in the third Sonic movie when, you know, Eggman's so easily dispatched of his grandfather. The real version of that was a little bit more grounded and dramatic. But they're not going for strange, semi-dramatic mood whiplash when they're making a popcorn movie. So, yeah, I can understand why they chose to get rid of that. Also, Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik is very funny. Yeah, something like that. Okay. So, you know, generations going into the past and in the old days, the mid-90s when I was a kid. There were like so many different interpretations of Dr. Robotnik. Some of them were funny, some of them were absolutely horrifying and scary. and I seem to prefer the funnier ones. And I think, once they got to, actually doing storylines and cutscenes in the video games, they rather went with the funnier version of Robotnik. It brings more fans to Sonic. Yeah, and that's true. It's interesting to see that both them and Nintendo, getting so fervently into the idea of making movies instead of video games. I mean, they anticipated a lot in that decision. One of them being that, things were just going to be so economically. There are going to be so many economic issues. People are going to afford movie tickets a lot sooner than they're going to afford newer video games. It's interesting, for example, to see that the new Super Mario movie is going to be coming out this summer, and there's already just a great big hype around having Yoshi in there as a character, both from people who have just discovered the movie and also from very long time fans, because it just kind of works both of those ways, as Yoshi was always an extremely popular character. And, other people are also just latching onto the fact that there's this cool big nosed green dinosaur that's in the middle of all of this. People usually look at different things when they see a movie. When they see movies and the kind of franchise fan service that they turn into, definitely there's a lot of great big hype out of the possibility that there's all of these characters in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, including Bowser Jr., Birdo, and even the slight outside chance that there might be Wario, according to one of the theater synopsis. Yoshi is iconic. Something that Shigeru Miyamoto actually wanted to have in Super Mario Brothers a long time. Just having Mario have a rideable companion. And he finally fulfilled it in the fourth game, and everybody knows that Super Mario World is the greatest. Well, that is... except for people who might be watching the movies, I don't know. Everybody needs to go back and play that game sometimes. Alright. Lolly, 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 get your hedgehogs here. Oh, that's what these things do. You can destroy them using the cube wisp. I only just learned that. I got through most of the level without knowing that. Maybe that's because it's a port. Sometimes the collision detection feels a little bit off when it comes to this game. Have I played Sonic Crossworlds, Brainy? Yeah, I was actually playing the Tangle and Whisper Festival earlier. I wanted to do some of it for stream, but I was going to be streaming a little bit too late. It's definitely gotten me interested in the characters from the IDW comics. And I read the Tangle and Whisper miniseries, well, just today, because it was delivered to my house this afternoon. So I picked that up, I read through all of that. I think they're very cool characters. once again, I go back to the ancient pre-civilization that was the 1990s, and I silently hope that like all of these supporting characters that they, for example, introduced in the Archie Sonic books would get an opportunity to eventually be in the video games. And they tried to do everything they could in order to make that happen, but they ran into a lot of obstacles. Not the least of which was that whole debacle about Sonic not getting a game for the Sega Saturn system. How much do I know about animals? I know a few things about animals. Um, what is your question? And please, for the life of you, do not say what is the maiden flight path of a inbound migrating swallow. Always get the slide mechanic wrong. Every time I do it, it always comes out really slow. Just because I forget to use it and I hit the wall anyway. In addition to me is that my sometimes co-streamer Mimi knows an enormous amount about animals. They use a lot of that knowledge in when they were writing the Barrons Wasteland TTRPG guide. Have you ever heard of animals hating somebody that you're watching on a stream channel, like you're hanging out with your pet that is not aggressive, and you've had it since a baby trained it and everything, yet for some reason when you're watching a certain person, as you're behind you, it's aggressive towards the person that you're watching? I mean, there are tons of internet videos where animals are just doing something extremely similar to that to the television. Are you making the insinuation that you have a pet that is currently watching me and kind of considers it to be in some way hostile? I rescue kitties with my husband. We even have a cat sanctuary. That's very good of you. I used to have a rescue cat, and a lot of my friends didn't like it because they were incredibly aggressive and also incredibly fast moving because they spent a good amount of their life living outside. Yeah, I think I held on to the ghost wisp this time. I'm just going to use it to extricate myself from this little situation here. No, you just witnessed something like it. Was that actually in an internet video? Because like, that kind of thing happens all the time. For the longest time, I used to really love those internet videos where the cats are actually playing the fishing minigame. And those apps seem to be made specifically for cats. So I think there's absolutely no denying the fact that cats interact with screens all the time.
Eggman could be anywhere.
Indeed I could, but I'm right here behind this generator. That's it, Hedgehog. Stand there and be a nice little target.
Tails, is that you humming?
Sonic, look out!
Rescue animals are truly the best. Lifelong friends, frequently of their own personality. Well, Tails is dead. He had a good run.
Tails, buddy?
He's my buddy now.
What have you done to him?
Me? I did nothing at all. Unless shooting him with my mind control beam that runs on alien energy counts is doing something to him. Does it? To get to me, you're going to have to go through your best friend. This turned out much better than I could have hoped, and I only used a small prototype.
Enjoy it while you can.
Oh, I will. In fact, the only way to make this better would be to have you two fight.
Come on, Tails. Snap out of it, dude. You don't want to do this. What the? Tails, buddy, are you all right?
Huh? Where am I? Why is my nose hair tingling?
Ah, there we go. Further nose hair jokes.
Ran out of juice. Well, I'll get more. Lots more. And then I won't just control one little punk, but the whole universe. In the meantime, enjoy the park. I'll leave you your own private tour guide.
It's a ship.
Pay up, Tails. I told you he had an evil plot, and coming here was a good idea. There it is, straight from the horse's mouth.
We didn't bet.
Dang.
Okay, yeah. That's actually pretty funny. Sonic just slinks off and fights the boss now. Okay, gotta go save the world, etc. Okay. I know I'm going to have to three-way volley up this. Yeah, there we go. We tend to make a lot of shifts list sideways in this game. That's a tongue twister. Ships list sideways. Ships list sideways. Take that, you candy cornball cacophony. Guy's got an army of Weebles. As evidenced by their ability to wobble and not fall down. There is actually one good thing about this game is that they actually are quite good at leaving you without rings in very dire situations. Okay, so we're at the 2-hour mark. This is when I was going to plan to end the stream, but there is so many people watching right now. I might be convinced in order to go on for another hour. Suppose you all were to type Brainy Go Fast in chat multiple times. I could be convinced to play the next section. Oh, Queen, don't do that. I'm actually trying to encourage people to stay. Did I not finish it last time? Maybe I didn't finish it last time. Sometimes that seems to happen, is that I just have to play levels over again for no particular reason. Well, I'm definitely going to complete this section, first of all, but second of all, yeah. Everybody type Brainy Go Fast in chat if you want me to stay on for another hour. Do it. Just do it, man. Do it, man. Alright. Up. All right. I was wondering why there was gold cannonballs is because they explode into rings. I was wondering where the rings were on this stage. They're inside the cannonballs. You're gonna head out. Have a good evening, Queen Vampiress. Thank you very much for tuning in. And thank you everyone else for staying tuned in. This has been a great night. I definitely would have planned things longer if I knew there was going to be this many people simply watching Sonic Colors. Okay, now stay down. I want Brainy to play all night and party every day. Yes, Brainy is so fun to watch. You guys are too kind. This is going to give me a big head. Although I kind of do already have a big head. Yeah.
Hey, Sonic, did you give the guide your complaint?
Oh, I gave it to him pretty good. Sup, Yacker? So did you get any more info out of him?
Well, it wasn't easy, but yeah.
Well, we know Eggman is going to use the energy he's stealing for a mind control weapon.
Learned that one the hard way.
Do we know how Eggman is getting all these aliens?
Yeah. At first, I thought that Yacker was talking about how Baldy Nosehair was using burps to do it.
He is pretty gassy. Maybe the smell would knock him out? I don't know, something doesn't seem right with that.
That's what I said. It made no sense. Then I made a tiny adjustment and realized he was saying,
I'm making popcorn.
So, no burps.
I've been on a keto diet lately, so I haven't been eating popcorn, but there's also the fact is that since this is Sonic Sundays, you are legally required to use the Sega Sonic popcorn machine that was in Japanese Sega arcade games back in 1995.
Well, I've already leveled 2.
So, if my math is correct, that leaves us 3 more of those bad boys to take out.
Nobody said there'd be math, but I'm with you, buddy.
We should get moving. Yacker says the aliens don't have much time.
Once I start moving, I don't need much time.
Soon the mind control weapon will be full of energy I've siphoned from the aliens, and Sonic's world will be the center of my interplanetary theme park.
Y'all reckon you'll be able to get yourself enough of that energy to take over the whole dang planet?
Yes, I reckon I will. Where is your new voice chip?
Got it right here, sir. Just need to install it.
Okay, I hope this doesn't end up in some kind of offensive accent.
Phone's connected to the...
Sonic and popcorn is always a nice combo.
That's new.
Finally,
I agree wholeheartedly.
than that cowboy chatter.
I'd almost suspect that, popcorn would have been Sonic's favorite food at one point, but then later on it became chili dogs as a result of the Western cartoons. And you used to be able to get chili popcorn from the Sega Sonic popcorn machine. But, that's chili as in hot peppers, not like chili and chili dogs.
Shortly, I will have no need for those idiots. In just a few hours, Sonic...
Japanese people aren't typically con carne guys.
Jewel of my amusement park, the greatest
No chili con carne.
universe.
Yeah, that was due to the Western cartoons.
I think I gloated so hard I pulled a muscle.
Okay, time to unlock 2 new stages. I can't think of anything that would be cooler than Highway and Sweet Mountain, so who knows what is up around here.
Planet Wisps. Next stop, Planet Wisps. This attraction is currently off limits, as it is still under construction and may not be dangerous enough for visitors yet.
Ah. So, I don't know if we actually have the ability to come here yet. No, actually, yeah, we do. Eggman is tucking out of his hat again. I'm familiar with this music because it's been in a lot of newer Sonic titles too. All right. Okay, so far so good. Okay, what do you do? Oh yeah, I remember this one. I played this one pretty significantly in Sonic Generation. So I'm used to Sonic platforming while flipped upside down. But then, you know, it's just getting my... The problem I typically have with this one is getting my control stick reversed as I'm trying to climb up a wall sideways. Technically, have a bag of popcorn full of chips and a drink, my third energy drink still. You're having 3 energy drinks this late at night. That also might be a reason why you haven't been sleeping well lately. I say these things because I care. Let's not forget that. Sometimes this stuff comes off as rude because, you know, autistic monotone. Kept grabbing a rocket there, but since I was already in a wisp form, I don't think it counted. So wait for this to wear off and then try to grab the rocket wisp. Nope, guess it just doesn't work that way. I can turn ghost for some reason, though. So the energy drinks you take in the morning are low in caffeine, and this is the high on caffeine one. Okay, gotcha. Brainy is going ghosts because the cartoon references never stop on this channel. Gotta catch 'em all because he's Brainy the cat. Gotta catch 'em all because he's Brainy the cat. I was kind of doing a drag there. I was holding down the B button. I don't know if that had anything to do with it.
I'm on my way.
Who are you, Danny Phantom? No, there is only one Danny Phantom. Regrettably, does not get much in reruns. I was trying to do a series on cartoon-based games. Not too long ago. Maybe at the beginning of, in the middle of 2025 I was doing that, but unfortunately, I don't think the ratings on it were very good. I think a lot of people tend to associate Tuesday with, what's her name? Pumpkin Potion. Twitch.tv/Pumpkin Potion, who is a great streamer. Well, I'm just gonna keep sitting here and coming up with lots of strange, arbitrary reasons to play specifically specific types of games, because that's my purpose in life. Oh, thank you very much for the clip. That's very kind of you. Because I don't often have people give me clips, and usually, and at times when they do, so oftentimes I just come here and then I use the clip maker so that I can make clips for other websites like YouTube. All right. More of the previously mentioned ghost mechanic here. I mean, of course, I can always make the parody go both ways. If there's something strange in your neighborhood, who do you call? Brainy the cat. There we go. All you gotta do is ask. I'm pretty good at creating clips. Oh yeah, well, feel free. Go ham. I definitely could use a little bit of an outside opinion as to what I actually say in this during streams that people actually find to be funny and clever. Did Planet Wisp always have this many spikes on it? I only have the tiniest bit of ghost, so I'm just hoping it's enough to lift me out of this chasm. Alright. Still dealing with the block puzzle here. Boy, for some reason this game really hates me being on this platform. Does not want me to do it. I guess I'm actually not supposed to be up there. I'm supposed to be going this way. It seems so much more like a red ring puzzle, and in fact it is. Did I mess this up somehow? Okay, I can push that. Ugh. Not much of a way for me to go backwards. What a strange level segue this has been. Still rather convinced that I have to be on this side as opposed to the other one. Okay, hang on. I'll restart this stage because something has gone terribly, terribly wrong. There's a completely different way in order to get the red ring. Yeah, something went... I think the level glitched or something like that, because I was not able to get to this section. There's some of those special blocks that you can only break when you're a cube wisp. Uh-oh. Here's trouble. Okay, stop bouncing around. I need at least one ring to stay alive. Well, okay. I guess I should have counted on that. I activate Pot of Greed, which gives me one measly ring I need in order to keep alive in the midst of a valley of these things. See, I'm just absolutely under no circumstances in any way good at the whole sliding thing. Not my Sonic. My Sonic never slid. My Sonic used to spin dash. He used to roll into a ball, and it was intuitive and really cool feeling. All right. So I like Sonic balls, huh? Yeah. I got one in my Happy Meal. I think I held on to it for maybe about 10 or 11 years. Wait a minute. You're saying something else. I've been looking for a store that sells some of the Sonic fidget spinners. I see them online all the time. I went to Second and Charles and I found a lot of the Sonic stress balls, but that's not exactly what I was looking at. It's nice to find a place that does have Sonic toys, as opposed to a place that used to have Sonic toys and is not sold out of Sonic toys. Uh-oh.
Almost made it.
Glad you got my back there, Tails. Uh-oh. Into the drink. Uh-oh. I did it again. So I finally figured out what the Tails tokens are for. They're for so Tails can save me from a fall, as opposed to me having to start over again at a checkpoint. Come on, Brittany, you got it. I have no doubt I'm going to beat this level at some point. Well, this is unfortunate. Okay, it was clearly a mistake to do that. I guess it's just as well. I was having a hard time surviving that lower level area. And now I'm going to have to do it anyway. Uh-oh. See, it's always the wall jumps. It's always the wall jumps that get me. We cube stomp in here. We cube stomp in here. Uh-oh. Everybody saddle up. We're going to be doing this for a while. Notify the affiliates for going into overtime. Probably something that I should have said a lot earlier. The person who came up with this idea probably subsequently regretted all of the object placement that they were going to have to put in the game as a result of it. Unless it was the guy who really likes to do object placement was the one who came up with this idea. You got this. Yeah, well, thank you for everybody's collective vote of confidence. I probably wouldn't have been able to beat that level without it, you. Where are we going? There's a place that's like just way off to the side there. Yeah, okay, so as a matter of fact, you do hold A in order to drift in these sections. I'm learning so much, and I'm already halfway through the game. I have a feeling Lightning Wisp is different from Laser Wisp somehow. No, actually, this is still Laser Wisp. Okay. Anywho. I don't know if I can reach up there in order to wall jump. My other assumption would be that I actually have to use the laser wisp in order to bounce all the way up there. Okay, I think I know what I have to do now. Okay, get here, and then activate the power. There we go. Okay, that one's kind of hilarious. This is one that's getting relatively stunt-like. Okay, so there is a laser wisp right about here. And so I need to make sure that I have that on me so that I can get up to the area that's slightly above here. I was a little bit nervous there because at the end of all of that, I still didn't have any rings. I'm gonna raid. It's getting late over on my end. I unfortunately have to work tomorrow, but I'm glad to catch you live. That kind of reminds me of the little creatures from Mega Man. Yeah, he definitely has that look about him. Well, thank you very much for tuning in, and thank you very much for raiding Pink Fairy Blossom. We appreciate you a whole lot. Have a good evening. Ah, drat. This is a confusing bunch of platforms that are directly up ahead here. Alright. Okay. Maybe the mistake I'm making is the belief that I actually have to go upside down on that platform. Oh wow, I haven't seen this platform actually go downward yet. There's probably some more goodies back there, but that doesn't matter. I'm happy. I'm just happy to progress right now. Uh-oh. Did I just loop around? I think I just looped around. Yes, the ads are unfortunate but necessary. Thank you everybody for staying tuned in. Uh-oh. Oh, for crying out loud. Getting kind of tired of looping this stage. Alright. Could use that Wisp. It's all the way up there. And this platform isn't moving. Can't wall jump that one. There's the one wall in the entirety of the game that I can't wall jump. Ba 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 ba.
You know, as alien as this place is, there's something very Eggmanish about it.
I think he's transforming it somehow, making it part of his theme park.
Attention guests, if you can hear this message, you are trespassing in an area still under renovation. If you are not a robot, please return to the main park areas and ignore anything evil you might have seen here. Thank you.
It looks like the theme of his park is universal domination and the conquest of alien races.
It's more than a theme, it's a reality.
I thought we already kind of
Kind of
stumbled upon his evil plot before.
It's pretty low, even for a sleazeball like Eggman.
Some displacement of indigenous aliens and destruction of natural resources may occur. Eggman Enterprises not responsible.
You getting any of that?
Yeah, they're totally freaked out. It sounds like they're in shock because of public transportation and a loony nurse. Oh no, wait, scratch that. They're in shock because of their planet's strange transformation and having been dragged across the universe.
Well, I still can't believe he kidnapped a whole planet. How did somebody do that?
They're saying it was either ice cream or a tractor beam.
Yeah, well, I'm going to guess it was an ice cream shooting out of those generators.
If it was, I would get one for back home.
Dude, I'd get two. Now, if everyone will excuse me, I'm going to put a stop to these renovations.
Okay, you know, we just went through Sweet Mountain. There is a distinct possibility that Eggman was able to transport the entirety of a planet using ice cream. You gotta be more open-minded about that. Okay, now we're going this way. Alright, everybody, welcome back. Thank you for staying tuned through the commercial break. You didn't miss anything, just a cutscene. Unless you're putting more stock in the cutscenes than I typically do. You probably couldn't put any less. Especially if the planet was alive, he could entice it and make it follow him with using ice cream. So, you know, one of the funniest Eggman lines I heard was from a Sonic Q&A. Where somebody asked Eggman if all of the food on Sweet Mountain is actually real. So, immediately followed by the question, how do you keep the entire thing from going bad? Of which he said, he makes all of his food out of 100% preservatives. And that is more than likely why he is so fat. Wow, look at this guy. This is the Coffee Achiever Eggman drone right here. Now you have a container of peanut butter. Ho ho ho. Definitely something that Bruce Willis could have used in the middle of Die Hard. You know, a good low carbohydrate snack. Actually, should be trying to do some jumping here.
Sonic!
You're just hungry, I can tell. I'm not unhungry. I'm probably going to grab a snack right before bed after I sign off. One of the evilest things Eggman does is put spikes on municipal areas, so small animals like hedgehogs cannot use them to grind rails and inevitably show up to thwart his evil plan. So I think it was Mr. Not So Anything that was saying that he wasn't feeling well. So that would be understandable if he ate all that much, because then he's just feeding the cold. That's the way they put it, is that feed a cold, starve a fever. Or really just have an excuse to eat a ton of food when you have a day off from school. I like the little potato chips with the skin still on them. That's a really good sick day snack right there. This is obviously something that I've given a lot of thought to. Oh, wow. I really shot across the field, hitting that one badnik. Uh-oh. This game really likes to imperil me platform-wise. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, I quite literally thought I was going to fall off again, just like I did now. Wrong direction. Now I'm further down the stage. Hey, what's that wisp over there? I know that, yeah, spike power is not actually going to help me to ascend in any meaningful way. Unless there's a specifically tall wall around here. Wish I had more of that, then maybe I would be able to stick to the platforms better. Not really adhering to the platforming anymore, just cheating my way up using Wisp power. We need Knuckles, then he can glide. All right, what are we up against next? And will we learn another
And
layer of
they're
Eggman's diabolical
these guys are
plan?
getting harder and harder to find. I know for a fact these guys are getting harder and harder to beat.
Please remember, all planets in Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park are, as far as you know, wholly owned properties of Eggman Enterprises and its subsidiaries. All unauthorized photography, video reproduction, or shutting down of generators is strictly prohibited. Thank you.
Eggman, I am going to save this planet, and I am going to free these aliens. No copyright law in the universe is going to stop me. We can save a lot of time and broken robots if you just quit now.
Okay, Sonic is clearly not aware of DeviantArt.
You try to be reasonable.
Bum 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 bum. Okay, these things are not magnet circles. Oh, actually, yeah, they are. They are magnet circles. We decided to actually bring something back from the 16-bit days. Shame that they don't really work very well mechanics-wise. Is that the star creature from the DC universe? Do you mean Star the Conqueror? I'm glad it isn't, because we would probably be in a lot worse trouble than we are right now. People forget how big and nasty Star the Conqueror was. I wish they would make a movie out of that. It's got to be a lot better than a bunch of the ideas that they have in Hollywood right now. Gonna speed this up a little. Or at least we thought we were going to. Well, of course, yeah, I can do the magnet balls just fine whenever I'm in Spike Wisp. Whenever I have a Spike Wisp ability going for me. Reminds me of when I watched the Suicide movie, the second one. Had it in it, and for some reason I was like, you know who that is? It's your mom. Oh, I never saw the second one. So I guess they've already done Star of the Conqueror, and everything I've set up into this
Sometimes
point
even impressive
has been
enough
just a great
for an
big
independent filmmaker
absent-minded
to
fit.
pull it off. Well, who am I kidding? We both knew how this would end.
Are you talking to the broken robot who can't hear you?
Maybe. That's between me and the robot. See, the important thing here is the alien planet is free.
Absolutely.
So, we can just forget about the whole talking to dead robots thing, right?
Nope.
I knew you'd say that.
Oh, come on. I've seen you save the day a lot of times, but I've never seen you talk to a pile of metal.
Touche.
Next stop, Planet Wisps. Welcome to Gameland, home of the ever-popular Sonic Simulator. Waste time with your pathetic friends in multiplayer mode. Next stop, the Aquarium Park. This underwater attraction is the perfect place to commune with sea life and hopefully get chummy with a shark. Welcome aboard the Egg Shuttle, offering light-speed access to each of the park's attractions. Perfect for jittery visitors with no attention span to spare on getting there. Next stop, the Asteroid Toaster. Zoom along through and sometimes into space debris. Then lose your lunch in zero G.
Alright, so we basically have 4 more levels to go through here. Is that I assume that we will get this done in 2 parts most likely. But promises made tonight is that, you know, we went on for just 1 more hour, and well, we're all the better for it because we managed to beat Planet Wisp in that time. Alright folks, thank you everybody once again for tuning in to tonight's stream. I'm going to take a moment and see if I can find somebody to raid. Suddenly moving into mouse mode really makes Eggman shoot his mouth off on the map screen. Alright, so let's see, who can we raid tonight? I think Big Nose Bug is on, and so is Code Channel. I haven't seen them in a while. I think that, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that. I'm going to go and pay a visit to Code Channel. They are a, what is the way that people usually put it? They are a super predator Catwoman. They're a super predator Catgirl, an alpha fauna Catgirl, if you would. And right now they are very well known for doing achievement lists on retro video games. So right now I believe they're in the middle of playing Monster Hunter Portable. So yeah, we're going to go ahead, we're going to pay a visit to them. Alright, so let's see. Alright, so thank you everybody once again for tuning into tonight's stream. It has been a great stream. I'm so glad that everybody was willing to hang out after Peak Fairy Blossom's raid. Don't forget about us. We are here 4 nights a week beginning at 6:30 p.m. MST on twitch.tv/BradyTheRPGCat. Alright folks, everybody say hi to Coach Chanel for me. Don't forget our patented rating message, Brady Raid Roll Initiative. Have a good night everybody. Remember, BRNY means smart. Nothing is too hard if you use your head. Always be the change you want to see in the world. Don't let people change your mind without your permission. Alright folks, have a good night everybody, and thank you very much for tuning in.